you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, thanks for the organizers for inviting me. Actually, I've been following and attending all this series actually over the last now, wow, 7, 8 months since it started. Now, what I am going to do, I will be very quick. I've got some visualizations. It's in a way or another summarize what I've been doing with some of my students over the last 7 or 8 months. It's going to be practical rather than theoretical or academic. It's in line with pandemic, the current pandemic, but also beyond actually. I am going to focus on the neighborhood level. As you might be aware now, this is becoming the new trend at the moment, that the 15-minute city / 20 minutes neighborhood. Now, some people are in favor, some people are not. That's open to debate, but I am going, how can I say, to discuss some fundamental issues. Yes, public spaces are at the heart of it, but as well, I am, how can I say, I'm an architect and planner with big hat on sustainability. I will move a little bit beyond public spaces. Now, let me start with this. Change is the only
We don't see your
constant.
Can you share your presentation? I think we cannot see your presentation.
You can't? Wow.
It was there and then it disappeared. Sorry.
Is it not?
No.
Is it not now? Okay,
No.
just 1 second.
I can see the presentation.
Can you see it now?
Or maybe
Yes.
you stop.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Change is the only constant in life. So interestingly, if you look worldwide, our world is evolving. Regardless the pandemic, the climate change, the inequality, it is evolving, and that's the only constant worldwide. Now, what the pandemic show, if I may say, at least from the UK perspective, but even Europe, the importance of locality at neighborhood level. I do questions whether we really pay enough attention to localism and neighborhood. If you look at the definition of what is a neighborhood, whether from theory, practice, or even from government perspective, it is a collective meaning. It is about location, physical geography, sense of place, capabilities, medium, local, social interaction. It's sometimes a place making as a physical and organization. Neighborhoods could be a mechanism to what they call it fixed capital and fixed local economy. So to me, what is neighborhood? I really endorsed what David Smith from Yale office said recently, a year ago. He said, neighborhood is not a place. It is a state of mind, one in which our hearts are open. We connect with others and care in ways that maybe perhaps could be called loved. And that's what we found in the pandemic, the importance of social interaction and in between people at neighborhood level, especially promoting sense of pride. Now, yes, if you look at the sustainable agenda by the United Nations, neighborhood is really at the heart of the SDGs. And what I found it interesting now from European perspective, how, for example, Northern European countries, they start translating the 17 SDGs into a neighborhood. If you look at the figure itself, it is called a place, a quality of place, quality of life. I really found that's really interesting at neighborhood. Quality of life, quality of place, and public spaces, street design at the heart of it in terms of uses, activities, images, comfort, access, linkages, and sociability. I really found that translation rather interesting. What this shows, we need to start moving from what I call it a technocratic approach to neighborhood to more value, word value, which is to do with the whole system thinking, promoting adaptive environmental, economic, social, and health values beyond the current political cycle and moving into the 20, 30 years from now. Neighborhoods, yes, there are a lot of challenges, and I will agree with you. Neighborhoods in Italy, different from neighborhood in Syria, different from neighborhood in the UK, but they have a lot in common in terms of poor accessibility. What I found, it especially in the deprived area, the poor accessibility to facility services, let alone green parking, let alone quality public space, which lead most of the time to decline in public health. Not only that, limited opportunity, limited investment, congestions, social isolations, even limited, how can I say, empowerment and public participations. And now, as you might see, the mayor of Paris last March, she really, how can I say, have a very ambitious plan. She wants to make Paris a 15-minute city. And it's all about, how can I say, enhance walkability within a convenient and comfortable catchment area. I really found those phrases interesting: convenient and comfortable catchment area, which is all about the social agenda of a place. It's all about the spirit of the place itself. This is not something new, my colleagues. Don't get me wrong. This concept is not very new. I intend to show this is a very important diagram. And this is from Freiburg city in Germany. What I like about Freiburg city, they built their city around the concept, city must be a city of neighborhood. In the UK, we have a problem. We put all our resources, all our money in the city center. And we assume if the city center flourish, everywhere else will flourish. And that's proving to be wrong. We have to have equal investment into the neighborhoods. Having said that, the city center needs to have a, how can I say, a clear identity. But also, we need to have to invest in the hub of the neighborhoods in terms of locality and local economy. So basically, city must be a city of connected, vibrant neighborhood. That's what I like about the charter of a Freiburg city. But that does require kind of decentralized governance system. So the neighborhoods become kind independent in a way or another, has kind of independency in terms of facilities and services. And accessibility by transportation, public spaces, but also public transport. Now, is there any character for the neighborhoods? No, but I would love to share this with you. This is recently being adopted by Melbourne City in Australia. But let me start with this fantastic quote by Jane Jacobs, which is, by the way, all to do with the 20 minutes neighborhood. She said, walkability is at the heart of urban vibrancy. Short blocks, population density, and diversity, and a mix of uses, building types, and ages that all play out in the sidewalk. So if you look at this issue of street connectivity, access to destinations, and density, I would like to emphasize word gentle density, because there has been a huge debate whether density is an issue. We have to distinguish between density and the crowdness. If you look at the city where my colleague in China, hang on, oh my goodness, I forget now. What is it? That's the city. It's one of the most dense city in Hong Kong. It's one of the most dense city in the world, and they managed to deal with the pandemic quite well. So density is not an issue. Yes, crowdness might be the issue, but I am advocating a gentle density. And here we go. We see now the 20 minutes neighborhood, and public spaces has a big role to play on it, which really put people first. So public spaces is not new to us, but what I like about public spaces, it used to be, especially in European historical city, it used to be the long-term framework, which brings cities together, but it is also part of the DNA in terms of facilities, activities, and comfortable catchment area. So it is what it shows, public spaces in neighborhood is not only the backbone of the neighborhood, but it must be developed and managed by the publics as what I call it, common and public goods. And that show actually scalability between houses, street, and relationship up to the neighborhood levels, which is all about sharing and all about experiences. Let me jump into the second ideas, which quickly I mentioned, the importance of density. And I really love this quote by David Smith from Yale. It's not enough to talk about density if you don't associate that with diversity. Because when you have density and diversity, you start considering and you start achieving proximity to work, proximity to local shops, services, public transportation, and green. So this is the formula. We can't just densify houses and settlement and centers without looking at the diversity of options and how the proximity to different means of transportations, including walkability, including cycling. Now, of course, there will be no one-size-fits approach, but there are criteria to what I call it livable urban density at neighborhood level. I don't want to go through all of them. I'm happy to discuss them. But what it shows really this is the importance of a place to live, to work, to prosper. As you know now in Europe, we are going to have a second pandemic. And what this highlighted the importance of, yes, we may all work from home from sometimes, but we do need to have access to locality. And I'm afraid we don't have access to this. Neighborhood is not only a place to sleep. It is a place to have a relationship. It's a place to work sometimes. It's a place to interact. What also I would like to highlight, the importance of local economy, achieving thriver. We need to facilitate local economy at neighborhood level. Why everything's in Europe or in the UK has to be big? Why? Why everything has to be about big local, big economy? We need to start to have kind of what I call it sharing economy, multiply businesses, which is based on local small businesses. Because this will always enable what I call it creation, production, trade, consumption locally. And collaboration most of the time is really at the heart of this. But to do so, all what I said, this required local input and balancing top-down control. This kind of sense empowerment and sense of ownership, we really need to reactivate that. But this requires kind of mediation between the bottom up and the top down. And we as a professional, we are the mediator. This requires from us a different kind of skills. It requires combination between real lives, but also sometimes professional skills and emotional. So this is about bringing both local knowledge and also technical knowledge. And what we have learned, this is my conclusion, what we have learned, value. We need to start create and invest on those values I created earlier. Value cannot be brought. It has to be created. Human experience is very, very important. It's not enough just to say to people, walk. Human experience is really crucial, and placemaking is about context. And I would love to say, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged, all of us, to change ourselves first. This is about smell, slow, human, culture, health, and the quality of life. So it's more than a space, is a space. The city is a drama in time. Thank you very much.